go. So we're here with the producer room, powered by producer culture. Got my fellow UK brother Ocean in the building. We're going to talk about how he took over this YouTube game and some of the other crazy stuff he's done along the way. But man, I've seen your podcast, so I'm gonna steal one of your catchphrases. So I want to take it all the way back, and because I know you've
All
got
the way back.
all the way back, because I know you've got an interesting story that took you all around the world before you kind of got to where you're at
Mm.
now. So yo, take us there. How did it all start?
Okay, so I'll take you back to like teenage years, I guess, where that was like my first kind of intro into music. So I guess you could say I started doing music at like 14, 15, just like teaching myself guitar. I had done piano lessons for like a little while, but I never took it seriously. I never practiced. I really didn't enjoy it. And so it was kind of just more like a chore, if anything. But yeah, tried to teach myself guitar and stuff, was playing in bands. And then when I was like 16-ish, when I guess school kind of gets, it's like the stick or twist in England. You're either gonna do like A levels or whatever, or you can just like, I don't know, leave school. And I wanted to do A levels so I could go to uni. But then I kind of just quit music. I don't know why, man. I look back and I'm like, damn, I shouldn't have done that. But I quit music completely, kind of just went cold turkey, and I never really did anything in the musical world for a while. And it wasn't until I fast forward a little bit when I was like 19, I left home and I started to just travel. Like I went to Thailand. I lived in Thailand for like the first time for about 6 months. And at the time I was just trying to make money online. There was just a huge boom in like internet marketing and entrepreneurship. And I was trying to tap into that scene, that world. And for some reason at that time in 2014, there was just a huge community of entrepreneurs in Thailand. So I moved there super broke. Literally, it was just like 1,000 in my account, and was just like literally just hustling, bro. Working underneath people, learning how to do email marketing, how to do ads, all this kind of stuff. And I went into that world. I'd say a couple years into it, I was starting to make some money, and I just started to travel the world, just live in random places for a while. So like, I was in Thailand, I was in Philippines, Vietnam, Serbia, Colombia, all these random places. And then I came back to Thailand and I thought, okay, I want to do MMA. Like, I want to be an MMA fighter. I love MMA. So I started training jiu-jitsu like every day, 2 times a day, Muay Thai. And that was my life for about a good 6 months, just training every single day. But during that time period, because in between training sessions, you need to recover, you need to just like take a nap and chill and whatnot. And it was in those time periods where I started to like really listen to music again and take it in. And the UK scene was popping off. Like Chip was, dropping diss tracks like every single week, and it was just exciting. And I was listening to this music, and I was like, you know what? I feel like I could probably make this as well if I actually tried. I downloaded Logic, made my first beat. Literally, I was just like, okay, I think I'm actually gonna do this instead. Like, I don't think MMA is for me. I love it, but I don't want to get punched in the face every day. So downloaded it, sat there, and I literally calculated, okay, it takes 10,000 hours to master a skill. If I do 3 hours every single day, that's roughly like 10 years. Could I put 10 years into music production and actually enjoy it? And I thought with this, I could actually do that. If you told me 10,000 hours of MMA, I don't think I could. Or 10,000 hours of studying marketing, maybe not. But with music, I thought, yeah, I can actually do this. Like, I really enjoy it. And from then, I just decided, okay, this is going to be my path. And I've just been going since.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So then back to then 2017. How does YouTube come into the picture for you?
I remember just going on. Okay, I remember this very specific video. There was a guy called Pat Ryan. Shout out to Pat Ryan.
I know he was one of the first ones I watched too.
Yeah, 100%, bro. He posted one video, I want to say like September 2016, where he's just literally just making a beat layer by layer. And I watched that video like so many times, and I was like, this is so sick, but it's so simple, but it's so sick at the same time. And then he just kept on uploading. He was getting millions of views, and I was like, man, this is like so fucking sick that he's just showing his process. But then I thought, I don't want to do that. Fuck that. Nah, let me just leave that. And then 2017 comes around. Even my younger brother, he started making beats. and he was selling them online. And he's like, bro, you need to start selling beats online. Like, you can make a lot of money. And I was like, nah, fuck that. And then Sharp popped up on the scene in 2017, and he was just like hammering every day at a video, getting tons of views. And that's when I was like, okay, there's clearly something with music production and YouTube. Maybe there's like an opportunity here, and if I don't take this opportunity, I might actually miss out. Then I saw Ramzoid, I saw Aries, and then Kyle Beats, and I was like, I have to jump in right now. Like, if I don't do this now, it's not for me. It was just like now or never, do or die. I have to jump in and do YouTube now. So I uploaded a video in April 2017. It did okay. I wasn't like, it got a couple hundred views, which was good because my channel had 0 subs. But then I left it. And then I remember it as well. I saw Chris Punts learn early. Then 6 months later, I saw him and he had grew like 10K subs. And I was like, wow, if I had just kept on uploading, I maybe could have got like a couple thousand subs. So all these guys that were on YouTube at the time were just really inspiring me. And that's when I was like, in October 2017, I stopped traveling. I came back to England and my focus was YouTube, just dropping videos.
So similar to how you did the 3 hours a day approach to bringing up your skill, did you have an approach for when you took YouTube seriously?
My strategy at the time was make as much videos as I can and just put them out, and whatever happens, happens. I was really going for quantity over quantity. I didn't really understand the YouTube algorithm or the game that well. So I was just trying to put myself out there. I really just didn't have anything to lose, you know what I mean? So I was just like, let's just go for it and see what happens. Anything can happen. That was just my mentality then.
And then what was the early experience like? Was it a pretty like brutal grind, or did it take off?
Kinda. I had a very like long time before anything actually happening. But honestly, I wasn't mad about that. I wasn't eager or anything. I was just like, do a video onto the next one, and I was just cranking out these videos. I'd say for like the whole of 2018, all those videos are not great quality, but it was just very consistent. Like tons and tons of videos, and I was just trying to give as much value as possible. Like, honestly, going back and looking at them, the audio was very poor, the visual was not good. You know, sometimes I'll just wake up and jump on camera with like my face not even like washed or something. So I got like, I'm looking mad, I'm looking crazy. But I just wanted to get as much videos out as possible, and I did that for the whole of 2018, and it kind of just got me in the routine of like the process of YouTube. Do you know what I mean? Like video, edit, get my editing skills up. Each video towards the end was improving at least. My thumbnails was improving at least, but yeah, just try and get my face out there. And it built, I think by the end of that year, I had 10,000 subscribers on the dot, which was rewarding, I guess, for all that kind of work that I was putting in, you know. At least it was somewhat working for me.
Yeah. And then how has it progressed from there?
So after I got that 10K subs, what did I do next? Oh yeah, I went on the roads. I got the travel bug again. And I just I left England, and I was just like living in different places again. But I invested in a really expensive camera for me at the time, invested in a mic, and took my production quality up and continued with the consistency. And I think at that point in time, it made things move even faster. And I started getting a lot more traction with my videos, a lot more views, and a lot more subscribers.
When did that first big video come?
So my first big video was, I think, August 2019, which was my younger brother makes a beat, and that one went viral. I got like, I think it might be on like 2 or 3 million views. Up until that point, I didn't have any viral videos. Maybe a few might have hit like 100,000, which was like fantastic for me at the time. But that one, when that video got a couple million, is when my channel literally went from like 40K subscribers to 80K subscribers within like a month or something. So that's like when things really took off.
I feel that. Okay. And then, because I know something you're good at as well is like collaborating within the producer community on YouTube. So like, especially for the UK guys like Prod by Jack, Jay Cactus, and even like Chucky Beats, Kyle Beats? Like, how did you start building up
Mhm.
those relationships?
Just all through the internet, because I mean, I've been watching all these guys for a long time, just seeing them pop up on my YouTube recommendations. And yeah, man, in I guess like just timing, innit? You speak
Mm.
to everyone online so many times, and it's like, it's inevitable that it's time to meet. Like, let's see each other in person. We haven't seen each other in person yet, but yeah, I personally just like collaborating with other creators as well.
Mm.
We're in like a very I don't know, YouTube production is kind of niche. There's not that many of us when in terms of like if you compare it to gaming or fitness influencers, you know, there's hundreds of them. There's really not that many of us. And so we understand each other a lot, you know, like we understand what it's like to create content and this kind of thing. So it just made sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. I also got a question about so like obviously like myself, you use Logic. Do you reckon your rise on YouTube may have been bigger if you were using FL? Because
Yeah,
that's obviously the more popular
no,
tool.
no, I think the one of the reasons why my channel grew is because my channel was Logic specific,
Okay.
and there isn't that many there, there might be now, but at the time there was very few people doing Logic hip hop stuff or trap stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like everyone was Logic was seen more as like the songwriter door, the EDM kind of door, maybe. But I think I was able to stand out a little bit because I was using Logic.
Yeah, yeah. Because I think at the time where I found you, yeah, you were probably one of the only people that yeah were doing videos on Logic. Actually, I
Yeah,
think one of the first videos I watched of yours was like doing 808s in Logic, maybe or something like that.
yeah, probably because like there just wasn't that many tutorials for Logic stuff, and I feel that's what helps just by putting out tutorials specifically for Logic for sure.
Mm. And then also like what's your experience like breaking into YouTube being from the UK? Because I know recently you did a trip over to the States to like do a bit more
Hmm.
networking and even just to break into the music industry in general. Do you feel like
Hmm.
sometimes the UK might be a bit restricting?
In some ways, I did feel like, for example, like going to LA, in terms of the more industry side of things, it was a bit easier to just collaborate with people. Like you turn up to a session, you meet someone, they're very open to collaboration. You go to their session, you meet someone there, they want to collab, you do a session with them. Like it's very much like a snowball effect in a way.
Mm.
In England, I do try and collab with a lot of producers, but I felt like there was less friction in LA, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it seems like everybody's on go time.
That could just be my experience. It might not be for everyone, but that's how I felt when, in terms of like the industry side of things, anyway, in LA.
Yeah, nah, I get that. Um, and then also a bit of networking you did do. I saw one of your videos. Is you bumped into Wiley, didn't you, in a guitar shop?
Oh yeah, that was so random. Yeah, yeah,
Yo, break down that, man.
yeah. Oh yeah. So I went to the guitar shop with my camera guy Ibrahim to buy a new to buy a new guitar for a video. I was playing the guitar and as soon as I heard like this deep voice come through the door, I was like, that's Wiley. I turned around and it was Wiley. And like Wiley was just he come in, and this was like peak COVID times. So the guy's like, "Oh, put your mask on." He's like, "Okay, okay." And then the guy's like, "Oh, make sure you wipe your hands." He's like, "Bro, calm down. Like I just stepped into the shop. Like you're making me nervous and shit. Like relax. I'm gonna do all these things." I don't know. I find it funny in it because he's being Wiley in it. That's just who
Mm.
he is. And then no, yeah, I just went up to him and was like, "Yeah, man, you're a legend." Blah blah blah. Got the contacts and yeah, just been sending him shit.
Yeah, so yeah, fingers crossed, man. Hopefully we see the Ocean and Wiley link up. That'd be crazy.
Hopefully, man.
Have you had any more of those experiences in London? Because obviously, like it is a hub for like the UK scene. Did you bump into anyone else?
Yeah, I've definitely bumped into to quite a few people for sure. Like I feel like in London, yeah, because it's such a small it's quite a small city. Like everyone kind of knows each other. The music scene of England is mainly in London.
Mm.
You're not that far away from someone. Like I think I explained this in the video. There's like 5 or 6 degrees of separation. I feel like for me in London, there's really only like one or two.
Mm.
So it's very easy to just like I might connect with someone, but we already have mutual friends anyway. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, something that also that I'm really interested to know about is the process of creating a plugin, because obviously you drop Elements, which is like a multi effects plugin. From like the decision to do that to like actually getting it out, what was that like?
So I had the idea a very long time ago, maybe like at least at least a year and a half before I actually put out Elements, probably longer. But I can't code, and so I needed to hire the developer. So that was a process finding someone who actually could do it. It's very niche. Like there's not that much developers who make audio plugins. It's very like a small world. I found my developer, told him my idea, a lot of back and forth for a very long time, months. Change this, put this in the nah, this ain't right, change that, blah blah blah. I designed how I wanted it to look myself. And then yeah, it was just a long process to get it to the final point to put out.
What surprised you most about the process?
The length of time it takes, bro. I like to move quick. If I have an idea, I want to do it quick. I'm not trying to wait like 6 months plus to get an idea out. Because by the time that idea comes, I've probably had like 10 ideas for another plugin. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
So the length of time that it takes, and I understand because you're developing it from scratch. But yeah, just the length of time was a surprise.
Mm. Oh, that's crazy. Then, so you had the idea pretty early on from when like YouTube started to gain a bit of traction.
Yeah, I knew I wanted to do a plugin for a long time.
Your kind of like little blow up on TikTok. Like how did that happen?
Mm. I don't know. Just one day, uh, okay, yeah, I was influenced again by Illusion. I don't know if you know Illusion, but he's probably like the producer OG of TikTok. He was the first producer to really bang on TikTok. I was listening to a podcast he did with Kyle Beats, and he went from like zero to like hundreds and hundreds of followers in the space of like a month. But then I also noticed that that completely blew up his channel. He went from zero to 100K subscribers in a week or some shit like that, and I was just like, whoa, maybe there's
Mm.
an opportunity on TikTok. So I was watching his videos and I thought, okay, he's remixing stuff into lo-fi. Maybe if I remix K-pop into trap, we'll just see what happens. And it completely took off as well. Like it actually really banged. I started getting a lot of like K-pop followers and stuff for a while.
Um, and I know like one of your goals like for this year is to get you like your first major placement. How do you
Hmm.
feel like coming from like a YouTube background either helps or hinder? Because like from my like personal experience, I came into the scene as a journalist who's also trying to get
Hmm.
placements. So I feel like it helps you get those connections, but not necessarily for your music, like and to like collab. How have you felt it go?
Both help and hinder because I
Mm,
feel like it can help because it can get you into certain rooms just because people care about clout and all that kind of stuff
mm,
in it. When I if I DM someone and the first thing they're gonna do is look at my Instagram profile, someone might get gassed that I have a certain amount of followers, so they'll be like, okay, he's legit, let him come through. It can help in that way,
mm,
but then I think it also hinders because some people have a stigma with like YouTubers and they don't think like it's serious. Like, oh, he just makes beats on YouTube. He's not a serious guy. He's not really in the industry. He doesn't have placements. So why would I work with him? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
mm.
So it both can help and cannot.
Yeah. How do you try to balance that out, or do you just try to just do what you do and go with the flow?
I just do, yeah, I just do what I do. I'm not really bothered. Like,
Mm,
if you want to collab, you want to collab. If not, it's like no hard feelings. I'm not taking it personal. You got to
yeah.
do what's best for you. Is what it is.
Nah, nah, facts. So, what are some stuff like coming up that you're excited for that you can maybe speak on?
In terms of the placement stuff, I can't really say anything because
Mm,
like it's not a thing until it's dropped, right?
yeah, exactly.
So I mean, I've been active, and we'll see what happens. We'll see if any of the tracks that have been cut get dropped. But in terms of YouTube, I'm really excited for YouTube. Honestly, I feel like the producer community on YouTube and the content, I think we're at a stage where things are evolving. We've kind of come through the tutorial days, putting out tons of tutorials. Now we're all trying to grow in a different way. We're trying to make it more broad, as you were saying earlier. We're experimenting. We're just trying new different things. I'm personally doing that anyway.
Mm,
And yeah, man, I just got so much ideas for content. It really excites me. I love doing it. And Yeah, man. This year I just want to drop banging videos, honestly.
But man, yeah, we really appreciate you taking the time to speak with us. One of the YouTubers I've been watching for the longest, so it's been great to speak. And fingers crossed for these placements dropping.
Yeah,
Um,
touch wood, bro.
but this has been the producer room powered by producer culture. Got the boy Ocean in the building, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.